It is vulnerable, and what we touched on a little bit ago is the competitiveness of this world, whether it's sport, whether it's business. And it always feels like and seems like there's somebody right there that will use that moment of I mean, it's not weakness. It's a moment of needing support. I guess it would be, you're kind of weak. You need support, but that will get used against you. And in whatever manner, it seems like it always bites you right in the ass. So it's hard because there are people out there with a good heart that would say, hey, if you ever, if you needed something, and if I said that to you, if you told me something and you were weak or whatever, I would never in my life use it against you.
Hi, welcome to Allow Yourself podcast. Today we have a very interesting guest. His name is Rob Schremp, and he's kind of different to what we usually have here. He's a business development professional with a global background spanning professional sports, operations, and early stage company development. Following a 16-year career in professional hockey, Rob spent more than 6 years building and supporting businesses across healthcare, biotech, agriculture, digital coaching platforms, and sport advisory services. His transition from elite athletics to business has been marked by a relationship first approach, strong execution, and a disciplined performance driven mindset. In 2023-24, Rob served as the director of hockey operation for the China Hockey Group in Hong Kong, further expanding his international operating experience and global network. Having lived and worked across Canada, United States, Switzerland, Sweden, Austria, Germany, Latvia, and Hong Kong, Rob brings cross-cultural fluency and a broad international perspective to his role. Known for his approachability and credibility, he naturally connects with founders, operators, and capital partners, supporting long-term growth through trusted relationship and strategic collaboration. So let's welcome Rob Schremp, a citizen of planet Earth, because he's global being everywhere. So welcome, Rob.
Thanks for having me, Beatriz. It's great to be here and have this conversation together and hopefully shed some light and some knowledge to the listeners.
Oh, for sure. For me, it's an honor, really a privilege to have you here. And as I usually start the podcast, I ask you, when you hear the words allow yourself, what comes to mind?
A little bit of creativeness, thinking outside the box, no boundaries, no judgment. And yeah, that's where the freedom kind of feeling of that thought comes from. Allow yourself, don't hold back.
Wow, really, really nice creativeness, freedom, and no boundaries, no judgment, just opening a whole world inside your head that it's not really what we are taught, right? Because we are taught to have a lot of boundaries and fit in and how to behave. So how did you relate the allow yourself to go from highly success sport guy to business guy?
Through my journey in sports, I was a very curious and creative person and athlete. I never really, as a young age, even I think it's just how I'm cut from that type of cloth of challenging the boundaries and the why not. And for me, that's no different. Bringing that approach to business, through sport, it's a little bit, you cut your teeth in that and you learn and you grow and you get through the immature stages of being a boy and a teenager and young professional athlete. And when he comes into the business world, you learn how to have that same approach with with, class and with respect and those sort of things. But I think it's, as you see in the business world, there's a lot of, uh, I think in my opinion, hurdles that are in the way that don't need to be. It's just little small things, but having the approach of, um, you know, as long as it's with good taste and with respect, and what there shouldn't be too many boundaries around many things. So I like to push those boundaries. I always did as an athlete, and I was, for hockey wise, I did things that were not normal per se, a little bit more creative than what the game was used to, and I really do take that approach in the business world as well, and not scared to challenge, and not scared to try things, and really not scared to fail.
No scared to challenge, no scared to fail. Ah, it's a risk taker. You're a risk taker. So in pushing boundaries, what do you mean? Because we can think that pushing boundaries is a rebel. Uh, or what do you mean? In what sense you allow yourself to push boundaries? Because usually people, I don't know, that's my opinion. When you push boundaries, yes, risk taker, rebel, but it's also a person has his own mind, and he doesn't need to please others, and not is behaving to fit in. Is is behaving more to grow. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I think, um, pushing those boundaries and challenging, constantly challenging, and it's not negative in the sense of challenging people's opinions or such like that. It's just about, about growth, expanding. And if you're not pushing, the boundaries per se, then you will get into a very comfortable and probably like a comfortable position. It's just, and I have an internal push to be great, not just to be average. So for me, that kind of stillness is, I don't like it personally, and I have that urge to push, push, push.
Okay, so now I understand it differently. Uh, Let me see if I understand correctly. You are challenging your own boundaries. You're not challenging others and the boundaries of others. You're challenging your own boundaries. Is that what you want to say?
I think so. Yeah, that's how I feel, and it's not about challenging other people's boundaries per se, but if in a business sense, sometimes things can get nostalgic, slow, and as a business developer, I like see the big picture and then go try to help them build it out as fast as possible. And sometimes that's too fast, and you have to make sure you have the mentality for the CEO or the COO. Their job is to crawl, walk, run, and then sprint. And that's my job as BD, is to push those boundaries and get it from crawl to sprint as fast as possible by bringing opportunities or, going and seeking.
So you see both worlds very similar, the business and the sports,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
You see them, they're very competitive both,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you need to be on the field all the time in order to see what's happening, in order to grow and to win.
Yes, it's super important to, just no different than with sport. And my sport was hockey, but whether it's training, it's studying the game, it's watching um, other people do the sport, other games, etc. And business ain't no different. The more calls you're on, the more information you gather, the more prepared you are, the easier it gets to push and go and challenge. And I don't mean challenge, it's just about pushing. And that's, sometimes you will get resistance, just like in hockey. You will meet resistance, and sometimes it could be through a coach, it could be through an opposing player. But when you're prepared, you can get through that boundary. And in the boardroom, it's that the CEO or whatever it might be, like someone in the company thinks that this is, not the way it usually is done. So that's challenging. And if you're prepared and you're ready, you can push back and you can push boundaries. So that's a little bit more where that's the depth of that comes. So, but if you're not prepared and you're just going in the room and you want to challenge authority, that's not really the message. That's not actually smart at all because you probably won't be around very long. So,
Oh, okay. So one of the key things that you advise is to allow yourself to be prepared and to study and to research before you go to push. It's like where to push, not just push.
well, I think it's if you understand the big picture too. So, in sport, if you're pushing in what your big picture goal is for a championship trophy, right? That's the end goal. At the end of every year, you want to be the winner. And the reason why you're pushing is that you're motivated, you're prepared, you're ready, and you want others to be that level, and you're trying to drive everybody to that level, almost like the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, where he talks about he would never ask anybody to do anything that he wasn't willing to do. It's a lot of that. So, and then in business, it's the same thing. If you understand that end goal and the push is driving towards the end goal, that's a positive thing. You want a lot of those people in your teams.
How do you see the training that you do in sports? How do you see it in business?
Well, I would argue that the business world is actually more tiring than the sport world when it comes to training. And the comparison is essentially emails. In business, it's emails, it's calls, and it's those tedious things that you got to be a part of, you got to be there for, you got to show up for, be paying attention, listening, gathering information. Where in sport, it's like you go to the gym for 2 or 3 hours, train, lift weights. It's very simple, but it's 2 or 3 hours, and then your day's done. With business, it's like 6, 7, 8 hours of calls, and the calls can range from oil refinery to a data center to a expansion team, and it's a lot, and it's your brain is always stimulated. So, I mean, those are the things you got to keep that kind of discipline and sort of drive to understand why you're on those calls and what you're trying to get out of it.
You said that you um, base your business and everything in relationship, in sports and in business. Relationship is number one. So, um, where is that philosophy come from? The relationship first approach.
I think it's super important to gain trust, and through sport, you have that. As a hockey player, we play on lines as a forward, so you have you and two other people that play together, and it's so important to have trust. It's important to have a relationship, and yeah, it's a job when you get to pro, but it's that relationship base, that trust base is super important. And the way that I transfer my sort of motivation and my drive to the business world is when I played hockey. If you were my line mate, I would, every time I would pass the puck to you, I would try to give you the best possible opportunity I could. And if I take that to the business world, and I say that analogy, when I pass the puck, it's going to be right on your tape, and it's going to be for you to score a goal. That's the only thing I want. It's not passing it to you so you have to give it back to me. In business, it's not I'll do something for you so you do something for me. It's about trust, and that relationship base is that. And or whether it's going to do something that maybe someone in the business world take it that way. It's like they need help on something, happy to do whatever I can to help. In the hockey world, it's sometimes your teammate gets run over and you go over there and you help them out. So it's about transferring the sort of life lessons from sport to business. And it's in hockey, it's a little bit more barbaric and a little bit more, you get your teeth knocked out, but it's having that same mentality that eventually when it gets to the point of like, they're like, well, they think about you. They're like, that's a great person. And if I fail somebody, it's not out of ill will. It's not out of anything. It's out of good intention. So that's super important. The same thing with hockey. I am trying to give you the best possible every time. I might screw up, but it's definitely not on purpose. It's something you can work with me on.
When you say trust, building the trust is you delegate and you work at the same time as a team. It's a teamwork all the time, and it's not just your ego. Look, here I am. It's the mentality from sport that you cannot do anything by yourself, but you work in a group and in a team more in a team than in a group. The same thing you feel in business is, although there is so much competition and egos in the business, especially in this world today that everybody pushes.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, there's no perfect world. So, but I'm a personally I'm somebody that would rather sleep well at night, and I wouldn't sleep well at night if I had maliciously done something to somebody else, or backstab somebody on purpose. That's something that doesn't fit with me. I'm a big believer in karma, and what goes around comes around. And when you're doing good things for the right reasons, you'll be rewarded in some way in life. Whether that's financially, whether it's a job title, whatever it might be. I just firmly believe that. So ego is interesting. And again, for me, ego is less intimidating when you're well prepared. Because when you're well prepared, when somebody comes at you with ego, you can really see that's what the leg they're standing on is ego. And that's kind of easy to play against. Just like a big, tall defenseman in hockey that can't skate. He's scared, but he can't move. And if you can be agile and you got puck control and you got body control, you will burn that guy every time. Same thing in the boardroom. This guy's only got ego. It's not hard to dance around that.
Oh, that need a lot of practice. It's not just for granted. You really need to learn about that, especially in the men's world. In the women, we have it too in a different way, but in the men's world. So, what do you think men secretly need permission to feel or express? Because uh, with my experience, men swallow most of the time whatever he's feeling or want to express and just, or when it explodes, explodes. But whether he needs to learn how to express or express his feelings.
I think I would need a little bit more context on the question and in what regard. And I just want to give the best answer I possibly can. So, how, where would you like me to guide on that? As far as in the workspace or in general, just
In the workspace, let's say in business. Uh, in sports, for sure, you need to share if something hurts. But in sport, as in business, if you the belief is that if you show vulnerability, you're weak. So you always have to be the strong, and you always have to show that everything's okay. And so, how do you think men or people are allowed to express their feelings and how to take the risk to go there and express, I don't like this, I'm feeling this way?
yeah. Well, I mean, the reality of it is that it is it is vulnerable, and what we touched on a little bit ago is the competitiveness of this world, whether it's sport, whether it's business. And it always feels like and seems like there's somebody right there that will use that moment of um I mean, it's not weakness, it's a moment of needing support. I guess it would be, you're kind of weak, you need support, but that will get used against you. um and in whatever manner, it seems like it always bites you right in the ass. So it's hard because there are people out there with a good heart that would say, hey, if you ever, if you needed something, and if I said that to you, if you told me something and you're weak or whatever, I would never in my life use it against you. But there's not a bunch of me out there, so you can't, like, there's snakes in the pit. So it's tough. And in a perfect world, you can't. I think we're moving in that direction. I feel like emotions and mental support, mental health support is there much more than when we were younger. When I was younger, I'm almost 40, and the conversation is changing there, where it's okay to not be okay. And but that being said, it's a tricky slope because there's vipers in the pit, and how that's, and not everybody has the same need or the same instances, right? It's not like they have the same issues. So it's not a boilerplate sort of issue, because the issues are different for men and women. The different things that could be going on in life, emotions, hormones, et cetera, et cetera. So again, there's no boilerplate thing that could sort of service everybody.
How do you feed your soul when you're in a business that is pushing, 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 and challenging boundaries? How do you stop? How do you pause? How do you don't get to a burnout?
I play a lot of golf.
Goals? So, what kind, for example?
What's that?
What kind of goals, for example? To feed your soul, that you can pause and you don't get so burnout. You don't get to the point of the burnout.
Uh, for me, I feel enthusiastic about my work, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Um, I love it. I love what I do. I really do. So I don't get burned out. And, when I was a young kid, I had the same feeling for hockey. And, I always got warned, and my parents were warned that I would get burned out. But for me, it was like I loved every minute of it. So with my work, what I'm doing right now, it feels like it is the exact place that I'm supposed to be. I enjoy it. I enjoy all the phone calls. I enjoy the networking. I enjoy the possibilities, the getting down to the details of getting a deal over the line. It's all exciting, and it's all, maybe it's new, and we'll see. I don't have advice on the burnout side because I haven't gotten there yet, and I looking
I hope you
forward.
don't get there either.
Yeah, I don't know how it could, to be honest with you, and knock on wood, hopefully I'm not jinxing it. But again, right now it's all very new and very exciting, and again, it's where I want to be, and I see the future going forward, and there's a big picture, a beautiful picture ahead of what we could achieve. So building towards that is going to be fun, and when we hit that pinnacle, the life after that's going to be amazing, and I'll be able to I already am a very present father, and with my family a lot, but even at that point I'll be able to do it even more.
What I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you you love your work. So like it says, when you love what you do, is like you're not working. And one, and the other, that you are a people person. So the relationship is what the listening that you mentioned before, a lot of listening in the business more than the training um is the relationship approach to be with people what really um pauses you, make the pause in you not to burn out. It's like those, that's how you feed your soul, how you rest your mind. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, to that, I really enjoy connecting with people. I enjoy connecting people. It's just I did it my whole life. I've been doing it, and now I get paid to do it. So it's again a natural fit, and I found a nice place to land. It seems like everything happens for a reason, and um, that's for me. That's the. It's just, yeah, it's great. It's like a perfect fit.
And living across so many countries, what surprised you more about people, different cultures? What surprised you?
Nothing really surprises me per se. It's just interesting to different. It's different parts of the world. It's crazy living in Zug, Switzerland, and first bus ride driving 30 minutes out in the town that we stopped in on the trip. The people, the guys local from Zug, couldn't understand the dialect from the people from 30 minutes away, which was like crazy. The different Swiss German. So it was. Nothing like there's nothing crazy that really surprised me. Russia was an interesting place, played in the KHL, so I saw a lot of different things there, and it felt like we rewinded 30 years, like we were back in the 70s almost when I was there. So Um, what surprised me is how much bigger the world is. I came from a small town in upstate New York, and not, I got to travel the world, so I got to see so many different things and experience different things and get a worldly view of everything. And my perspective comes from that, seeing with my own eyes and understanding different cultures and how to be, respectful of those, um, and also welcoming them. So it's been a great journey, and I'm looking forward to making more memories and traveling more. And so it's been great. I can't say that anything sticks out. I think surprising or how beautiful the Swiss Alps were. It was like our first bus trip on the road, and it was like crazy how beautiful it was. It's just it's such a beautiful place, and the people are interesting and very kind. And in Latvia, lived there, played hockey there, met my wife there. Their culture and how much they celebrate life is amazing. Just the little things, like they have a names day celebration for your first name and middle name. And people come over, like the sort of tradition is that if it's your name's day, people just show up at your house. It's not even like an announced party or anything. They just show up, and it's Beatriz Day, and they celebrate that, and they bring you a little gift. It doesn't have to be a pony or a Porsche, but it's, bring over flowers and have a barbecue and socialize. And Giannis Fest and Ligua, it's the longest day, solace of the year. So everybody on the 23rd makes these fires. But just their culture is like insanely rich and just different. So the way people celebrate life differently in Hong Kong, it's amazing. The Chinese New Year and the way people are with each other, and the way they appreciate things and the way they say thank you, and also the way they push and the way they push boundaries and challenge, when they're passionate about something. So there's so many different sort of spices I've been able to pick up from different parts of the world, and it's been a huge benefit for me to kind of grow my personal person.
And how did that help you evolve professionally?
Well, for me, I've been fortunate enough to be in the room with a lot of people, and again, it started off. I really didn't have a target or a goal to be in the position that I'm in for work right now. It just naturally came to me. But I'm in the room or have friendships and relationships with the people that are very successful people and high up in companies, and I just recognize them as friends. Didn't really care what they did. Wasn't friends with them because of what they did. They're just good people. And now when I spin around in this new role that I'm in, and I have positive and sort of good opportunities, it's just, again, a natural fit. I'm not giving a bad pass. I'm coming with a good pass, and those people are willing to listen. So I can get us in the door. And again, the business development role, I'm not a CEO by any trade. I'm not a COO by any trade, but when it comes down to growing business, I can do it in many different lanes.
So, even if there is so many different places in the world, you feel like there is a common ground anyway, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's just respect and how you treat people. And you treat Latvians a little bit differently because the language and the culture is a little bit different. It's a post-Soviet Union country. They were occupied till 91. So there's a little bit of coldness there. But it's still with the same warm heart. You try to treat people, and you probably would I do greet my American friends a little bit different than the Latvian friends. It's just a little tweak, but it's with the same messaging, and you gain the same trust, knowing that, there's no ill will ever.
It's like you're talking here with me, I'm in Costa Rica, you are in Canada right now.
Yeah.
No? Yeah, but what I feel from you is that high positive energy, and you see and you focus on the good things and the things that work and the things that can be better. So it's contagious. I think that's part of your personality, right? That you're so motivated and so eager to learn and to know and to share and that high energy is I don't know if it's from hockey, but it's from you, is your essence. At least that's how I perceive it, no? That it's um you talk about everything in just as positive energy and evolving and knowing. Even when I ask about vulnerability, you say, "Yeah, there are snakes, but what you can do, you have to be careful with that, with with those." It's like when you enter a forest, you know there are snakes, so you put boots, higher boots, and you are more prepared. But it's so nice and so motivating that energy that you have, that it's you feel it just with your voice. So I can see how you allow yourself to put it in the words, how you give yourself permission to open yourself and to trust and to invite just with that energy is really easier, let's say, than when you think that the world is a troubled world. I think that you said beautiful in Switzerland and beautiful in Latvia and even if even if that you treat it differently, but it's respect, and it's really beautiful to listen. Do you think that's part of your success?
Yeah, I think so. I think that is definitely, because I mean, I started out in the sport that's not, I wasn't really supposed to be in that sport per se, like from what I came from, and the sort of 1 second, I'll pause. My
Yeah,
sweetheart, how you doing? My daughter's here.
yeah.
I'm on a podcast, sweetie. Do you want to say hi to Beatrice?
Hey, what's your name?
Stella.
Tara?
Stella.
Ah,
Stella.
Stella, Stella. Beautiful. How are you? Now
Good.
you're part of the podcast. Beautiful. What do you have to say positive about your father?
Oh,
Tell me something nice about your father.
you have to think that hard? Oh.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
Yes, she needs to think what to say, the right words, right? Yeah. I can see your father is very warm.
It's very positive.
It's very positive. Yes, that's what I was saying to him too. So motivates you a lot.
Clock it.
Oh, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna finish up. Okay, I'm gonna be about maybe 20 minutes more.
Can we get McDonald's?
We'll get you some dinner soon. Okay.
Yay!
Can you go in the kitchen and play a little bit?
Make sure I'm on the credits.
I'll get you in the credits.
Dad, do you know the password to Mom's computer?
No, I don't.
Can you text her?
No, I'm on the podcast, buddy.
Bored.
Okay, well, play some arts and crafts.
How do I do that? Send me the number.
Okay, take it in the kitchen, please.
What do I know if I need?
Just bring it all.
What if I wanted to go back?
You can come back in and out. Just try not to make too much noise, okay? Thanks. Thanks, sweetie. All right. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, fine. So just to wrap a little bit, what do you think you need to allow yourself for your next chapter in your life?
What do I need to allow?
Yeah. Is there anything that you think that you need to let go, achieve? I don't know. Allow yourself to do different things.
There's a lot of, take a lot of growth after retiring from hockey. There was a lot of like unsolved stuff and things that when you go through a professional sport, and I don't think it's special in any degree and to athletes. I mean, in business, it's the same thing in some degree, where you get your college education and then you jump into the workspace, and then whatever life throws at you, you kind of have to just deal with, and et cetera. And then at one point you get to a point and it's kind of maybe you never dealt with it. So for me, it was a lot of growth after the game and looking deep within. So, getting rid of that old image. And as a professional athlete, you kind of have an alter ego, and you sort of have to, because that Viper pit is super competitive. And there's so many people that want that job. It's almost like every guy in a professional hockey team is a CEO, so to speak, of like how coveted that spot is. And so there's a lot of people coming for it. And in professional sports, it's a bottleneck because there's only so many spots. So that alter ego, understanding that and really getting your head around it, I think that was important for me to grow and get out of that space and kind of shed that person, shed the skin of that, and go to the the positive things that are inside of you, and the way that you can be open and grow, and also sort of change your goal orientation. Like that's something that's super important, is that with professional sports, we're used to wins and losses every week, pretty much from September till April, sometimes May. Every week you're getting like 2 or 3 opportunities to get a win or a loss. In the real world, it's not so much. A win in the real world is when you're starting out, like getting someone to answer your cold call or a cold email. That's like a big win. Although it seems small, it really is.
It's like you need to allow yourself to change your identity, because you're not anymore a hockey player that it was what you were defined, or it's just opening to other goals, alter ego, you call it, right? I call it identity. Is just to let other roles in your life to play just as a person, and not just to be stuck in as a hockey player.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you want to say? I have seen that in people that work for a long time in some companies, and then they are fired, and then what am I going to do without Coca-Cola behind me, or what am I going to do without Toyota behind me? Who am I without that? Right? Is the new identity. Really, really nice, and it sounds like easy, but it's not. It's a whole process. So, what would you advise your Rob the teenager?
The advice, I would say slow down. And I'm given that now. I get to be a father and help her through her journey, and she's in like a super race to grow up. I was like in a super hurry to grow up, and kind of had to some degree. At a young age, I had some, call it success, but really slow down. In those early ages, it's not about skipping levels and the mantra of crawl, walk, run. I would say to relish that and be comfortable and accepting of the crawl, walk, run theory. But I tried to go from like crawl to sprint as a young boy. Yeah, learned a lot. Learned a lot. Like hindsight's beautiful. At 39. It's interesting that now you ask that question and start thinking of like, oh man, probably a lot of advice for that young Robbie. But I think even at a young age, just slow down. But even back then, again, I always, growing up, I love pushing boundaries, like in the sense of like I always had why not, I never kind of accepted the ceiling on my head. So there's two parts of that. It's kind of a blessing, because I don't know if change my story, and if I do slow down, if I get to the spots that I got to. I don't know, but
Well, that we'll never know. But sometimes he said to slow down is to enjoy more the moment and accept more the present time, instead of just looking forward and goal oriented. It's just enjoy your peers, enjoy. I don't know. That's how I see it myself today. That I was also a pushing, and thinking what is after college, what I'm going to do, and it's like enjoy the moment. Uh, you're in college, enjoy college. Don't think what will happen, what will be after college. So, yeah, really, really nice. Thank you very much, Rob, for this nice and powerful conversation. And is there anything else that you would like to share?
I'm currently making in the process. There's a movie being made about my life, so that's exciting. We're in the process. We're almost ready to start. We're getting our funding together, and then we'll start shooting in probably a month or two. So as of right now, the name on it is The Prospect. So we don't know before we release. You know, it's going to be about a year out after we officially press go, but name could change. But as of right now, it's the Prospect, and our film team is Paul Sadowski, Alex Alonso, and Lars Lind, and they actually just won an award at Cannes for best documentary, I believe it was, and Paul won the best director. So they're a great group, and Alex Alonso was. He's my contact on that. I coached this kid, and we had a relationship, you know, from 4 or 5 years ago. So that's one of those things where being a good guy, being a good person, and just being friends because we liked each other turned into him now making a movie and writing the script for my life story, and I trust him fully to do it. And I again never. I don't want to say it's the wrong way. I wasn't friends with him because he was a principal photography on movie. He was an awesome human being. His kid Ian is an amazing kid. Love the family. So um, there's stuff like that, and being a free spirit, I think, is something that I'm going to go off a little bit more. But like, I met another guy, Paul Zhang, who's an amazing human being. He's got his kid Zach Zhang. He played hockey, and I met them. Whatever. I was out in California doing a camp, and they were supposed to come the whole week. The kid only came on Monday, and he didn't come the rest of the day. It was kind of like, where'd he go? And whatever. And then on Friday, the dad said, listen, I had to get my pilot's license, and I couldn't get him up there every day. So, but we'd love for you to come down here and do a private thing for a week if you're cool with that. So I said, yeah, what the hell, why not? So I went down there, stayed at this house. I never met him, only met him on the phone, stayed at his house, met the family. They're amazing people. Oh, yeah. And it turns out that, it's just, we've had a great relationship ever since. So it's a personality thing for me. I don't know if it's for everybody. I know I'm again, a risk taker. Some people, my wife is like, I can't believe you're going down to some random guy's house to like, I'm like, yeah, what's going to happen? what's the worst thing that could happen? But it turns out they're great people. And I just feel like when you're putting out the right vibe, so to speak, right vibrations, you get on this flow with the right people. You attract these people. And that's the thing. I feel like when I shed that ego, I shed that hockey player. These people that I've been running into it's been amazing.
Yeah, it's what you call a relationship approach. Yes. So you don't know where it comes from, where the opportunities will come. You just have friends and meet people and relate to people as they are, and not pretending what can I get from or what if I need. It's like the future, it will bring it together just for your such a nice, high, positive energy and vibe. As you say, karma, what you put there, it comes back. So it really works that way. So thank you very much, Rob. If you want to reach Rob, you can find him in LinkedIn, Rob Schremp, or in Instagram and Twitter for hockey. In Twitter, you can find him for hockey. So thank you very much. And for those that are listening, remember that allow yourself is not a one-day thing, it's a process. And every day you can allow yourself something else. For now, just allow to rest, allow to learn, allow to listen. And
remember to not get a boyfriend till you're 14.
Oh, good. Allow yourself to
great
have
advice.
allow yourself to have a boyfriend till you're 14. Until you're 14, you cannot have a boyfriend. Very, very nice. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. See you.